Hi, I'm Kate, and this is my booktube. Today we're here to talk about The Mortal Instruments, City of Glass by Cassandra Clare. Now I have not planned what I'm going to say, so this is going to be a doozy. This is a really good book and a really good series with a bunch of amazing characters, amazing ships, amazing romance, amazing action, amazing plot. This series is amazing. And I've absolutely loved it. There's a few things in the series that weren't my favorite, but I thought it was good. So that's my overview of how I feel about it for anybody who has not read this book yet. And now for all of you who have not read this book yet, but clicked on this video anyway. Go! I mean it. I don't want you here. Because I really can't have people who have not read this book watch this video because I don't want to spoil them. I don't want to spoil you, okay? So if you have not read this beautiful book that I think has Alec on the cover, do you think that's Alec? Could be Sebastian. If you've not read this book, go. Come back after you've read it. We can talk. I'm sure we'd be great friends. Okay? Leave. Okay, now back to this conversation with all the people who have read this book. I loved all the relationships in this book. I really got into it. It was such an amazing book, and everybody seemed to know everyone's secrets all of a sudden. All the kids in Magnus all knew each other's secrets. Some was like, they're not good actors anymore. Like in the first book, you have no idea how any of them feel. In the second book, only a choice few know, and they don't really know that much. They're trying to figure out what's going on. In the third book, they're like, I know your secret, your secret, your secret, your secret, your secret, your secret. Now let's talk about them. Literally, how many times did they have scenes like when Clary went up to Magnus and Magnus was like, what's going on with your relationships, Clary? And she's like, I don't know, what's going on with yours? How's Alec? They everybody knew about each other's secrets, about each other's relationships. It was so obvious. I mean, it's always been obvious for the readers, but for the people not reading this book, the people who are who are in the book, it shouldn't be that obvious. But it was, and it was cool because I got to see all those connections, and those are the things that I live for. I remember watching Captain America and being like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for all those scenes where they're like, where you have Iron Man going, you're Steve Rogers, and like Captain America going, I knew your dad, and things like that. I really wanted those scenes. I wanted the scenes where they see all the connections and they like talk about the exact things that you are excited about. The things that make this book worth reading or this movie worth watching. So, all those little scenes, loved them. Okay, now, let's talk about Jace. He was quite a jerk at the beginning of the book. I know he cares about Clary and that's why he did it, but he should know by now that Clary does what she wants. What she wants, when she wants it. And Jace can't just decide that she can't go somewhere when she truly needs to go. He can't just be like, you can't go. No, you can't. When she's saying, I have to go. Do you feel that way? Because I do. And yes, everything got over that really quickly, even though they did have the biggest fight like ever in that scene. But I got mad at him for that because I feel like brothers can't treat their sisters that way. Even if they aren't brother and sister anymore, they're kind of getting into that whole, the older brother feeling like he has to control the younger sister's life. And I really was hoping that wasn't going to happen. I remember feeling that and being so angry at him. And then later on, the Clash romance heats up more and more and more. And oh my gosh, that kiss outside Wayland Manor! I was in love. I couldn't, I can't get my eyes off that scene. I'm just like, come on guys, even if you are siblings, it doesn't matter, you're in love with each other. I never thought I would ship incest that badly. But I did. I did badly. They are such a good couple, and I was like, I don't care if you guys are siblings or not. I was pretty sure they weren't siblings at that point anyway. But I was like, I don't care if you're siblings or not. You have to get over it. If you guys are in love, then you guys are in love. And no one can stop that. I mean, in real life, a lot of times when it comes to incest, they're not really in love. They just think they are. But in a book, you're pretty sure when people are in love. Because you feel their emotions. You can see if they're fake or not. You can see the other people's, how they act and what they're going to do. And you know if it's real or not. What Jace and Clary had was real. And I wanted them to kiss so many times in this book. I was just like, you can't be like this. You guys are in love, and you guys have to stop being so mad at yourselves for being in love. And then, the whole demon business. Jace thinking he's a demon, part demon, and that he has no humanity in him, and that the reason he loves Clary is because he's a demon. Give me a break, Jace. You have to stop feeling like because something was done to you, something is official about you, that it decides who you are. You decide who you are. If you don't want to be evil, then just don't be evil. Do what you feel is right. That's what someone who's not a demon would do. Someone who is a demon, on the other hand, would probably do what just made them happy. What made them feel righteous and strong and better than everyone else. They would be selfish. And Jace was not selfish. So he needed to get rid of that idea. I don't know why he did that. I was like, you're an idiot, Jace. You're not part demon. The first time I read it, I knew. I was like, there's no way he's part demon. It's obvious. As I told you last time, my favorite couple, Halleck. And it was so much better in this book. Because everybody knew. All of the little friends, Jace went up to him, he's like, I know you're in love with Magnus. Stop acting differently. And Alec was starting to realize that he really is truly in love with Magnus and that he is hurting Magnus's feelings by trying to hide it. And he's obviously going to have to tell his parents someday that he's gay. Why not tell him when he's with the person he loves? Why hold off? Because truly, that was not stopping him. Because he was going to have to tell his family one day. So, the only thing stopping him was that he didn't know if he was in love with Magnus or not. When he realized he was in love with Magnus, it was easy to decide, yeah, he has to tell his parents. He can't hide it forever. No one can hide something like that forever. It was interesting reading this book. Plus, the fact that Magnus is so flamboyantly awesome, and he just made me wanna I laughed out loud so many times in this book. Almost every time that Magnus talked, even when he was being dramatic, because I was like, oh, Magnus. He feels like a part of my family now. I read this book, and I'm just like, you're part of my family, Magnus. You are. You know it. He's so awesome. Okay, so what was my favorite scene? since we're on this road, because you probably actually don't know, but my favorite scene was the Malik kiss, because they're just talking about how they're gonna fight and stuff, and then all of a sudden, they all stare, and I'm like, are you kidding me? It took that long? And I'm reading and I'm like, oh my gosh! Go Malik! Go Malik! I just love how I love how Cassandra Clare explained it. She was like, Alec was kissing him full on, and Magnus was obviously surprised, standing like really stiff or something like that. I just remember reading it and being like, perfect, because it shows that Alec is not afraid. And this is how his parents were staring and over it. It was such a good scene, and no matter how many times I read that scene, it's definitely my favorite. It's probably my favorite scene in the whole series. I've read the whole series already, and I think that's probably my favorite scene from the whole series. I know, I'm kind of cheesy, but it's such a good scene. Such a good scene. Love it. So, I finally realized why I hate Valentine. He's kind of a boring bad guy. He says the same things over and over again, and all he does is lie. You don't know really why he's doing the stuff. He is cheesy, and he's not flamboyant or anything. He's just like saying it, and he gets so dark and evil that I just want to laugh. It's funny bad. So I realized through this that I really just don't like Valentine. I was reading the scenes, and reading the first time, you're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Oh my gosh. Second time, I'm like, can I skip through the scene? Maybe skip it? I didn't like them. And the thing is that he's in the biggest scenes in this book. So it was kind of annoying. But I went through it, and I read it, and I got better. And I have to say one thing. I don't think I've ever felt more happy in the middle of a series at the end of a book than at the end of that book. I felt like everything was working out great. It was a great book. I loved it. I loved everything about it. My battery's dying, so I'm going to have to wrap this up. So, comments, like, dislike. I know Judy will. And I'll see you later.